You kindly organize this program. Jai Ho, dear devotees, let's give. Thank you, Maharaj, for kindly being here. I'm very grateful to you that you kindly came here. All the wonderful devotees who come from far away, thank you so much for kindly being present here. Thank you each and every one of you for being part of today's assembly. Dear devotees, today's topic is very interesting, Bhakti and Vairagya, you can see. And what is the meaning of Vairagya? Can anybody tell me? Renunciation, okay. But renunciation is sannyas, detachment is Vairagya. Alright, so we will speak about Bhakti and Vairagya today. It's a very interesting topic, but before I speak anything, it is Shishta Parampara, tradition of the previous Acharyas, to offer Mangalacharan, auspicious invocations. I'll sing these verses. Most of us know these verses. You can kindly sing along with me. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupah Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nidhi Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namah He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpasarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha paditanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Once again, very happy to see all of you on this wonderful Sunday. And the topic that has been selected for today is Bhakti and Vairagya. As I specified, the meaning of Vairagya is detachment. Detachment plays a very important role in the spiritual life of each and every individual, irrespective of whether they are following Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. A person who follows Karma Yoga has to become detached from the results of his or her activities. Because in the Gita, Bhagavan has said, Karmani eva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. You have eligibility only in performing your prescribed duty. You have no eligibility in determining the result. So a person who is executing Karma Yoga also has to be detached from the fruits of the action that they perform. A person who is attached to Jnana Yoga also has to be detached from the entire material world, because Jnana Yoga is rejection of the material world, because only one reality is accepted, that is called Brahman, the impersonal Brahman. And in Ashtanga Yoga, one has to have Vairagya, detachment towards so many material entities. For example, In Ashtanga Yoga, one is supposed to cultivate Yama and Niyama, in which there are so many rules and regulations that require us to give up a comfortable life. Ashtanga Yoga cannot be practiced in the city in front of a television. And therefore, it's very important to understand Vairagya and the role that it plays, especially in the system of yoga that we are practicing. Which system of yoga are we practicing, dear Vaishnavas? Bhakti Yoga. Hence, the title of the presentation is Bhakti and Vairagya. We will begin with a statement by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada says something in the purport to Srimad Bhagavatam 2:12. And what Prabhupada says is given in front of us. Do you have a loud enough voice, Prabhuji? Yes. Okay. Please read slowly but loudly. It will come.
When the conditioned soul finds by a culture of knowledge that material necessities are unwanted things, he becomes detached from such unwanted things. This stage of knowledge is called Vairagya, or detachment from unwanted things.
So, very important to understand. Yeah, Prabhu, we can give the mic to Prabhu so that he can read in between. Very important to understand that Srila Prabhupada says, when the conditioned soul finds by culture of knowledge that material necessities are unwanted things, he becomes detached from some such unwanted thing. There are two main things to be noted here in this purport. First is that the conditioned soul has to develop knowledge before they can develop detachment. They need to have some knowledge that material necessities are unwanted. It is detachment, natural detachment cannot be imposed upon a conditioned soul. And in the Gita, Bhagavan says, Nigraha kim karishyati. Force will not achieve anything. But when there is natural knowledge flowing within the heart of the conditioned living entity, at that point of time, they become detached from that particular object. Even today, dear devotees, we are detached from certain things. And please tell me, how many of us were deeply attached to balloons when we were children? Please raise your hands. How many cried for balloons when we were children? And do we have the same feeling towards balloon today, or are we detached today? Detached. Did somebody force us into getting detached from balloons, or did it happen naturally? So this natural knowledge leads to natural detachment. It's very simple. Today we have something higher to do. Today we have something better to do. So we are not crying over balloons today. And therefore, this higher knowledge is what leads to natural detachment. This stage of knowledge is called Vairagya, or detachment from unwanted things. Very important to hear. Prabhupada calls Vairagya as a state of knowledge. Vairagya is a state of knowledge. Vairagya, instead of being a state of renunciation done through the external body, Vairagya is defined as a state of knowledge. And the term Vairagya refers to detachment, but the term Vairagya has come from one Sanskrit term. I will speak the Sanskrit term, please repeat after me from where Vairagya has come. Vairagya has come from, please repeat, Viraga. Viraga is absence of Raga. But first we need to understand what is Raga. So first we will understand what is Raga. From Raga we will go to Viraga. From Viraga we will go to Vairagya. So first let us understand the original term. What is the original term? Rag. Rag is generally translated as attachment. The verbal root in the term rag is ranj. Ranj rage. Panini Muni says ranj rage. To color or to become attached is called as rag. Those of you who have seen pan, betel leaf, originally that pan doesn't have any rag. What is the meaning of rag here? Color. But when you chew upon pan, there is immense rag. What is the meaning of rag, dear devotees? Color. And that pan has that deep reddish colored rag. So that rag also means color. Especially rag refers to deep red color. That is what is one meaning of rag. Another meaning of rag is attachment. So when this verbal root ranja is combined with grammatical suffixes, The final term is raga. And what is the meaning of raga, dear devotees? Attachment. This is from the grammatical point of view. I am explaining what is raga. Now, some terms not only have a grammatical meaning, but they also have a conventional meaning. Conventional means the meaning which is present in day-to-day life. That is called as the conventional meaning. Now, the conventional meaning of raga is given by Acharya Sri Jiva Goswami in his Bhakti Sandarbha. Now, let's hear from Sri Jiva Goswami what is the definition of raga. Kindly repeat after me. Vishayinah Swabhaviko Vishaya Samsargecha Atishayamaya Prema Raga. Says all of us have experience of raga. He says Vishayinah Swabhaviko. For those who have material senses, there is something which comes naturally with material senses. What comes naturally with material senses? Vishaya samsarga ichha atishaya maya prema. Deep attachment to any object that attracts us. This deep attachment to any object that attracts us, it has a Sanskrit name. What is the Sanskrit name for that? Raga. Yatha chakshuradi nam. He gives the example. For example, the eyes becomes attracted to saundarya adav. Saundarya. What is saundarya, dear devotees? Beauty. We are walking on the street, hundreds of people may pass us by, we don't notice. Because we don't have rag in them. Suddenly a very beautiful person comes. And suddenly we look at the beautiful person and then our eyes start following that person, dear devotees. That the eyes that get stuck upon that person like a radar, they are indicative of something. What are they indicating? Rag. They are indicating that raga. They are indicating that deep attachment. Here is the translation, Prabhu. Kindly read. What is the meaning of raga?
The natural deep attachment that a sense enjoyer has towards experiences of sense enjoyment is known as raga. Example, the eyes have such deep attachment towards gazing at beautiful objects.
So please tell me how many of us have experience of raga. Please raise your hands. Oh, wonderful. Everybody is experienced in the material world. All of you are experienced connoisseurs of raga. All of you know what raga is. But we don't want to stop at raga. From raga we have to go to which place? Virag. And from viraga we have to go to which place? Vairagya. Because Vairagya is very important. It plays a very important role in the spiritual lives of all systems of yoga. And we will also see what importance it has in Bhakti Yoga. But let's go to Viraga. Raga is attachment. And please repeat. Viraga. Ragasya. Abhavaha. Abhavaha. Does anybody know what is the meaning of abhav? Absence. Absence of raga is known as what? Virag. Now I am going to explain something which is very important. Please pay close attention here. On one end of the spectrum is rag. What is the meaning of rag? On the absolute other end of the spectrum is what, dear devotees? No. Dvesh. What is on the other end of the spectrum? Dvesh. What is the meaning of dvesh? Repulsion. What is the meaning of dvesh? Repulsion. Now I'll give you one example which will help you understand what is rag and what is dvesh. Suppose an announcement is made next Sunday that this Sunday we will be cooking paneer butter masala. Dear devotees, huh? By hearing the name paneer makhan wala, paneer butter masala, huh? What develops in the mind? Rag or dvesh? Rag develops. Oh, wonderful, dear devotees. So we are on this end of the spectrum. And let's say on certain Sunday feast, he says, today we are cooking Karela, bitter gourd, dear devotee. What develops in the mind of most of you? Dvesh. And let's say that Karela is brought to you, huh? And it's given on your plate. What will be your reaction, Prabhuji? No, na? And somebody forcibly puts, so Prabhu will experience what is dvesh. Huh? One is attachment, one is repulsion. Between attachment and repulsion is the stage of virag. I don't care. I hope you are able to understand. Virag is not dvesh. Virag is not dvesh. To hate something is a negative form of being attached to it. Mentally, you have still not given it up because you hate it. It's often said the opposite of love is not hatred. Really, because hatred is another form of expressing love that was unfulfilled. The opposite of love actually is to be indifferent. The opposite of love is indifference. Because love and hatred are two ends of the spectrum, and hatred also shows negative attachment. Actually, to get rid of attachment is to be completely indifferent. Virag is that indifference towards sense objects. And today, dear devotees, please tell me, do we have hatred towards balloons or do we have indifference towards balloons? What do we have? Indifference. So, this is called as virag. Ragasya abhava, absence of rag, is called as what? Virag. Now, when this virag is present in selected objects, 1 object, 2 objects, 3 objects, 4 objects, we call it virag. But when it is present in all objects of the universe, that essential feeling of virag, when it becomes present in all objects of the universe, when we become naturally detached from all objects of sense enjoyment in the universe, then we reach what is called as, dear devotees, please repeat, Vairagyam, Viragasya, Bhavaha. So the essential mood of virag, when it enters into each and every material object, then we have truly developed Vairagya. Till that time, if we have detachment only in selected material objects, we should not call it Vairagya. What should we call it instead? Virag. So there is a big difference between virag and vairagya. In the sense that virag exists for particular objects, but vairagya is for the entire spectrum of material enjoyment. So in this world today, do we have virag or do we have vairagya? What do we have? Virag. All of us have virag towards certain things. But vairagya is a very special stage wherein there is natural detachment from all objects of material enjoyment. This is the grammatical definition. And after the grammatical definition, there is also the conventional definition. And so we will hear a definition of vairagya from the Acharya, who has spent a considerable amount of time in defining vairagya. Shri Adi Shankaracharya in his Vivek Chudamani defines what is vairagya. Please sing after me. Tad vairagyam jihasaya darshana shravanadibhi dehadi brahma paryante yanitye bhoga vastuni. Tad vairagyam, that is known as vairagya, which is jihasa. What is jihasa, dear devotees? Jihasa is hatum ichha, the desire to give up. What is the meaning of jihasa? The desire to give up. Often a person gives up something out of force, not out of desire. For example, if somebody becomes a criminal and they are put in a prison, most of the material facilities are taken away from them. Is it by their desire or by force? By force. Jihasa is to give up by volition, by one's own desire. Tad vairagyam, that is known as vairagya, which is jihasa. Jihasa is the voluntary desire to give up. What is jihasa? The voluntary desire to give up. Darshana, through eyes. Shravana, through ears, etc. Adi, through give up all sense enjoyment through the eyes, through the ears. And sense enjoyment beginning from deha. What is the meaning of deha? One's own body. Brahma paryante, all the way up to the planet of Bhagwan Brahma. From one's own body all the way up to the position of Shri Brahma, to give up all the desire for all such enjoyment is called as vairagya. Because anitye bhoga vastuni, understanding them to be impermanent objects of enjoyment. This is the definition of vairagya. Now please tell me, this definition is for selected objects or for all objects? All objects. Therefore it is properly known as what? And when it is in selected objects, it is known as what? Virag. Now we know the difference between virag and vairagya. Here is the translation. Prabhu, kindly read the Meaning of the verse.
Vairagya is to give up all desires of experiencing impermanent objects of enjoyment in the universe through one's eyes, ears, etc., beginning from one's own body all the way up to the position of Lord Brahma.
Because the tendency for enjoyment begins in one place. Where does the tendency for enjoyment begin? In one's own body. Huh? The first entity we wish to enjoy is which entity, dear devotees? Our own body. So therefore, jihasa, the desire to give up enjoyment, should also begin from which entity? The body. Dehadi. It should begin from the body. And it goes all the way up to the position of Shri Brahma. This is called Vairagya. And if Vairagya is not present in all material entities, then it should be called as what? Virag. Now, question arises, dear devotees, this is a good definition of Vairagya, and this Vairagya is very essential for each and every practitioner on the path of spiritual life. On some paths, little Vairagya is needed, on some path, greater Vairagya is needed. But what exactly is Vairagya is also defined in a wonderful way by another Acharya. This Acharya, although 2500 years have passed since he has left the planet, but this Acharya is still ruling over the world. Today, in any corner of the world you go, this Acharya is ruling by his presence, because this is the Acharya who is the author of Yoga Sutras, Maharshi Patanjali. Any corner of the world you go, you find a yoga studio, you know which Acharya is ruling. Who is that Acharya? Devotees. Maharshi Patanjali. Maharshi Patanjali defines Vairagya and defines what is real Vairagya. Now, in the Yoga Sutras, Maharshi Patanjali gives a wonderful definition of Vairagya. Please hear the definition of Vairagya as it is given in Yoga Sutras. Please repeat. Drashta, Anushravika, Vishaya, Vitrishnasya, Vashikara, Sangya, Vairagyam. So he is defining Vairagyam. You can see the last term is Vairagya. He is defining. Please hear carefully. First he says there are two types of enjoyment. What are two types of enjoyment? Please hear. First is, please repeat, Drishta. Enjoyment that is directly accessible to us. That is called as Drishta. Enjoyment that is in front of us. For example, dear devotees, if we go to a wonderful garden and we see many beautiful flowers in front of us, that beautiful sight is in front of us. Do you agree? That enjoyment is Drishta, directly accessible enjoyment. Now some enjoyment is, please repeat, Anushravika. Anushravika means we cannot directly have it right now, but we have heard about it. That is called as Anushravika. Which means, how many of us have heard that there is a planet called as Swarga, heaven, where there is immense amount of enjoyment, where the rules of Varnashram don't apply? How many of us have heard about Swargaloka? Please raise your hands. And the enjoyment is lesser in comparison to earth or greater in comparison to earth? But do we have any direct experience of it right now? So does it belong to Drishta category or Anushravika category? There are two types of enjoyment, Drishta and Anushravika. All enjoyments can be categorized into these two. Enjoyments that are accessible to us in this life, enjoyments that are not accessible to us but we can hear about them. For all these types of enjoyments, Vishaya, enjoyments, Vitrishnasya, one who has lost taste, one who has lost all taste for all such enjoyment. For such a person, dear devotees, Vashikara Sangya Vairagyam. Vashikar is called Vairagya. Now, this is a technical term that has been introduced. Prabhu, kindly read the translation. The definition was going very easy, but suddenly Patanjali Muni threw another technical term. Alright? Dear devotees, please read.
For a person who is devoid of desire for all sense objects that are Drishta, seen, and Anushravika, heard of, the stage of Vashikara is known as Vairagya.
Acha, wonderful, dear devotees. Can you repeat one sentence after me? Vairagya is Vashikar. This is the meaning of Vairagya as defined by Maharshi Patanjali. But then another question arises. What question arises? What is Vashikar? You didn't define what is Vashikar. You just said, what is Vairagya, dear devotees? Vashikar. But we didn't define what is Vashikar. Fortunately, Shri Vyasadeva commented upon Yoga Sutras. And Shri Vyasadeva helped us understand. Shri Vyasadeva explains that in the material world, most people are inclined to enjoy the world. But then suddenly something happens that a person starts turning away from enjoyment. Have all of you seen people who have turned away from the material world and who have turned away from material enjoyment? Yes? Why have these people turned away from material enjoyment? Frustration? Oh, wonderful, huh? Frustration, okay. Anything else? Higher taste, okay. Not satisfied. Knowledge. Some adverse situation has occurred in life, so they turned away.
They are captured by Krishna's pastime and Leela.
Okay. No, I'm just speaking about somebody who has turned away from material enjoyment. Somebody who doesn't like to enjoy the world. Because of frustration, because of knowledge, because of some event that has occurred in life. Wonderful. Huh? Disease. I heard Jesus. So, I heard somebody from the church has come and I heard Jesus. Okay. Disease. Wonderful. Disease. Okay. Wonderful. Yeah. I fully agree with you, Prabhu. Huh? So, Sri Vyasadeva says, due to many such conditions, people start detaching themselves from the material world. They go through 4 stages of detachment. How many stages? 4 stages. What are the 4 stages, dear devotees? Please hear very carefully. First is, please repeat, Yatamana. Yataman Vairagya is the first stage of detachment. A person has just started leaving material attachments, trying repeatedly but fails again and again. Trying but fails. This is on the first stage of Vairagya. What is this stage known as? Yataman Vairagya. The meaning of Yataman in Hindi, some people may be knowing, Jatan kar raha hai. Jatan kar raha hai means what? What is the meaning? He's trying right now. But is he succeeding at this point of time? No. This is the first level of Vairagya. What is this level known as? Yataman Vairagya. Next, dear devotees, please repeat. Vyatireka. Vyatirek Vairagya is when that person has been able to give up certain sense enjoyments on the physical level, gross level. But certain enjoyments they are not able to give up. For example, a person may give up meat eating, but a person may still be attached to smoking cigarettes. So they have given up certain enjoyments, but they are attached to certain enjoyments. This is known as the second stage of Vairagya. What is this known as? Vyatirek Vairagya. Third stage, when by further practice and realization. Ekendriya. Now this person has given up enjoyment on the external level, but the attachment is remaining in one sense organ. In which sense organ does the attachment remain? The mind. Ek Indriya. What is the meaning of Eka Indriya? One sense organ. So in that Eka Indriya, in that one sense organ, that attachment is remaining. And which sense organ does the attachment remain at the end? The mind. And finally, when that attachment is not present even within the mind, just as all of you don't even think about balloons. I hope you're able to understand. When the attachment is present not even in the mind, at that time the final stage is Vashikara. This, dear devotees, is called as which Vairagya? Vashikar Vairagya. When even the thought is not there in the mind, that level of Vairagya is called Vashikar. So once again, dear devotees, let's go back to the previous sutra. Prabhu, kindly read the translation once again.
For a person who is devoid of desire of all sense objects that are drishta, seen, and anushavika, heard of, the stage of Vashikara is known as Vairagya.
I hope you are able to understand. So truly, what is Vairagya? Vashikar. Not Yataman, not Vyatirek, not Ekendriya. There is only one true level of Vairagya. And what is that true level of Vairagya? Vashikar. Why so, dear devotees? What is the problem if attachment remains in the mind but we are not physically acting upon it? Is there any problem that if the attachment stays in the mind but we don't act upon it? Can anybody tell me what is the problem in that? It may come out on the physical level in some point of time in the future. Any other issue? Yes, Mas.
Mind won't work properly. Can't focus.
Yeah, mind won't work properly. We can't focus. Wonderful. Dear devotees, anybody else would like to give another reason?
When we leave the body, it goes with us because it's
Oh, wonderful. Yatha mati tatha gati. So when we leave the body, that attachment will take us to another body. Wonderful. Wonderful. Krishna calls it mithyachar. Karmendriyani samyamya ya aste manasa smaran. That mithyachara sauchyate. A person who restricts the external senses, but in the mind is relishing the same enjoyment, that person is known as mithyachar. Therefore, even ekendriya vairagya is not good enough. Dear devotees, actually vairagya is on which level? Vashikar. This is vairagya. Now, I don't know why the entire audience is grihasthas and I am speaking about vairagya. I need to speak about vairagya because it's a very important topic. The grihasthas should know about vairagya. If we remain forever in the pit of material enjoyment, we will never come out of it. We will never come out of it. Grihastha ashram is perhaps one of the most relaxed ashrams in the entire spectrum of ashrams. What is the meaning of ashram? Dear devotees, we know what is the meaning of ashram? Shelter. That is ashray. I hope you remember, that is ashray. I am asking about ashram. Please repeat. Shram. Complete. Shram. Hard work. I hope you are able to understand. The meaning of ashram is complete hard work. There should be some hard work, na? Brahmachari is also an ashram. Grihastha is also ashram. We poor grihasthas, myself included, we work very hard. How many of us grihasthas want that someday should arrive when there is nothing, no material activity remaining to do and we can just happily pursue Krishna Bhakti? How many want that? Those who are not raising their hands, we should note their names. We should give them some extra seva in the temple so that they will come to this realization sooner. How nice it would be to finally be free of all the responsibilities. The shackles in the heart, that my son is yet to get married, my daughter is yet to get married, my bank balance is still, not sufficient good. I have not bought my shiny red Tesla car till now. So all these things, dear devotees, when all these things will be achieved, what will we do? But for that, dear devotees, we need vairagya, we need an understanding of vairagya in the beginning, so that at least at some point of time we can aim for it. And vairagya is not yataman, vyatirek or ekendriya. Vairagya is truly on which level? Vashikar. Now we see the genius of Patanjali Muni. Now we see why he is ruling over the entire planet, although he has disappeared 2500 years ago. This vairagya cannot be produced by force. It has to be a natural outcome of one's realization. As Srila Prabhupada was saying, by culture of knowledge, one will be able to come to this stage. Can we come to this stage by force, Vashikar? No. By force we can come max till Ekendriya. But by force we cannot come to the stage of Vashikar. The classic example is Saubhari Muni, who by the force of his austerities had achieved which level of Vairagya? Ekendriya. But he had not achieved which level of Vairagya? Vashikar. And as Prabhu said, sometimes Ekendriya will again manifest it as sense enjoyment because it is waiting to come out. And Saubhari Muni later again he immersed himself into material enjoyment. Now, how many of us want to genuinely become detached from the material world? Please raise your hand. No cheating, dear devotees. If you genuinely want it, please raise your hands. How do we begin? The material world is such a nice place. Everything is so nice here. Is there give me one reason why we should begin detaching ourselves from the material world? Yes, Mataji.
We will be leaving this world at some point.
And
when we leave, we'll leave with nothing.
So
we have to, our goal should be Krishna consciousness.
Okay. So we will be leaving the world at some point of time. So better start practicing right now. But Mataji, my mind is a ruffian. You know what my mind says? My mind says, as long as the bird is able to flap its wing, let it flap its wings. That is my mind. My mind is number one ruffian. Yes, Prabhu.
Dissatisfaction.
Okay, dissatisfaction, okay.
I would like to give up sugar and salt because it damages my body, and I want a healthy body,
Okay.
so I can have a little bit of quality life to be more spiritual.
Okay. So,
So it's something that I grew up, but it's an attachment. Well, sweets are very naturally attached.
okay. Okay, wonderful. So you like to give up sugar and salt so that you can improve the quality of your life. Okay. I will dig a little deeper into this because this seems to me like delayed enjoyment. All right. So I agree with you. I'm not contradicting you. The reason why people wish to increase their duration of life is mainly because so that in their old age they have good quality of life.
Good quality of life, not necessarily duration. I
Yeah.
don't think I want to live.
Yeah. Wonderful.
I want to go at a certain age,
Wonderful.
quality.
Wonderful. Quality of life. Anyway, so dear devotees, the reason for becoming detached from this world, the main reason for getting detached from this world is given in the Gita by Shri Krishna. I am highlighting that verse. In the Gita, Bhagavan has said something. And dear devotees, before I show this verse, I would like all of you to think in your mind of your favorite material enjoyment in this world. Okay? Keep in your mind your favorite material enjoyment in this world, and in the Gita, Bhagavan will say that misery will arise from the same source that you are enjoying. Alright? And where is the verse? Dear devotees, please sing after me. Ye hi samsparshaja bhoga dukkhayo evate adyantavantah kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. Ye hi samsparshaja bhoga. Please pay close attention, dear devotees. When we are walking in the material world, we come in contact with many sense objects. It is called as sparsha. What is it called as? Sparsha. I am walking on the street, I see 100 different cars pass me by. I see them. It is called as sparsha. But then one particular car which I have deep attachment for appears in front of me. Now it is not only sparsha. What is it, dear devotees? Samsparsha. Samsparsha jab hoga. Now from that samsparsha, proper attachment, some enjoyment arises. Bhagavan says dukkha yonaya. That object of enjoyment is actually yoni, the birthplace of dukkha. What is dukkha? Misery. So the same object which was supposed to give you enjoyment, that same object will become the birthplace of misery. How many believe this? Be honest, dear devotees. Think of your most favorite object. And that same object will give you misery. Many have not raised their hands. Yeah, we are being honest here. I want that. This is the last standing leg of religiosity, honesty. I would very much appreciate how many of us have faith that objects of enjoyment in this world are actually objects of misery. Really? When are we willing to give them up? I asked how many have genuine faith that objects of enjoyment are actually realized faith that objects of enjoyment are objects of misery. Please raise your hand if you have realized faith in it. Yes. Now very few hands are. What happened now, dear devotees? It is so nice to give textbook knowledge that objects of enjoyment are objects of misery, but in reality we don't want to give them up. Bhagavan says, Adi antavantah kaunte, O son of Kunti, all enjoyments have a beginning and end. Therefore, na teshu ramate buddha. Buddha, the intelligent person, doesn't delight in them. Now, what is the meaning of saying that all objects of enjoyment have a beginning and end? So, very simple. Dear devotees, please repeat after me. Enjoyment is misery when it goes away. I hope you are able to understand. Enjoyment is misery when it goes away. And please repeat, misery is happiness when it goes away. So actually, what we perceive as happiness is nothing but is the flip side of both are two sides of the same coin, happiness and misery. Here is the translation, Prabhu. Kindly read the translation.
An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them.
How many of us want to realize this verse? Please have the desire that we want to realize this verse. Oh, wonderful. Now we are being honest. This is what we want to realize. We will bring once again the Acharya who gave Yoga Sutra, and he will help us understand this verse very nicely. We'll invite Maharshi Patanjali once again and say, there are three types of dukkha in this world. Dear devotees, what are the three types of dukkha? Adhidaivik, Adhibhautik, wrong. Dear devotees, Maharshi Patanjali. Those are dukkhas which are not arising from sense pleasures. Maharshi Patanjali says, I will convince you that three types of dukkhas arising purely from the objects of sense enjoyment. Now here Maharshi Patanjali is attacking directly the objects of sense enjoyment. Now please repeat after me the three types of dukkha that arise directly from where? Material sense enjoyment. Please repeat after me. Parinama dukkha. Parinama dukkha is the first dukkha, the misery of transformation. It begins as enjoyment but later transforms into misery. This dukkha is known as which dukkha? Parinam dukkha. Good example of this. There is a boy and girl who are very young, very beautiful looking. They fall deeply in love with each other and they happen to get married to each other without any obstacles. Happiness or distress? Happiness. 2 years later, the boy loses all his hair and the girl, after giving birth to a child, loses half her beauty. Happiness or distress? It started very nicely. It transformed into misery. This first dukkha is known as which dukkha? Parinam dukkha. That which begins as enjoyment, sometimes, not in all cases, because there are people who are thinking, with me this will not happen. I hope you are able to understand. There are people who are thinking, this will not happen with me. Just a minute, Prabhuji. Please let me finish the categories of this will not happen with me. So, this first dukkha is known as which dukkha? Parinam dukkha. So, there are people who think, this is not going to happen with me. I will live happily. And this transformation will not, of any enjoyment will not happen in my life. Patanjali Muni says, no worries. Assuming that Parinam dukkha doesn't come to you, the second dukkha will come to you. The second dukkha, please repeat. Tapa dukkha. Tapa dukkha is that misery which arises while you are in the process of enjoyment. In the process of enjoyment, you start suffering. That dukkha is known as which dukkha? Tapa dukkha. And why does it occur? Because we get the feeling that the enjoyment is about to end. Now, I'll give another example for this. For example, there is a person who is deeply addicted to smoking cigarettes. His day cannot pass by unless and until he smokes an entire pack of cigarettes. One fine evening, he comes back to his home and he opens his drawer and sees there is only one cigarette remaining for tomorrow. He knows he has to go to the gas station to get his refill. So he decides, I'll take a shower and I'll go to the gas station to get a refill of my cigarettes. He takes a shower. When he comes out, he hears an announcement on the radio. It's COVID-19, all shops are closed indefinitely. Acha, for tomorrow, how many cigarettes are remaining? One. Tomorrow arrives. And he's holding that one cigarette in his hand and he's smoking. Please tell me, dear devotees, is he enjoying or is he suffering? Which dukkha is this, dear devotees? Tap dukkha. Isn't it? Tap dukkha. Acha. This also happened with me once. Once I was invited to a wedding and they told me it is all devotee prasad, nice, you come eat nicely. And I said, wonderful. So when I went to the wedding, there were many, more than 50 things kept to eat. I was so happy. I was, preparing my plate. And I put things on my plate one after other. And I said, this is first round. I will go for second round, third round, fourth. So like this I was planning. I was not told that they had mixed baking soda in all the preparations. You know what happens when you mix baking soda in the preparations? Yeah? You become full very soon. You're not able to eat even 25% of the quantity that you normally would eat. So after eating a few morsels, I am already half full. And then I am thinking, should I take another serving or not? But there are more than half of the other items I have not eaten. And so, dear devotees, with the plate in my hand, I am suffering. Achha. In my mind, I think in Hindi. My default thinking language is Hindi. So I said in Hindi to myself, then I will translate in English. I said to myself, अरे मूर्ख भोगते समय तो सुख रहे, तो भोगते समय तो सुखे. मूर्ख भोगते समय तो सुखी रहे, तो अरे foolish person, at least while enjoying you be happy. Look at your condition, while enjoying you are not happy. This dukkha is known as which dukkha, dear devotees? Tap dukkha. And it's not only human species. Srila Prabhupada would give example. When the poor bird, it sits and eats something, it always looks left and right whether somebody is going to attack it or not. This example was given by Srila Prabhupada. This example is a classic example of which dukkha, dear devotees? In the process of enjoyment, the bird is suffering. And somebody may say, oh, this is not for me. I will escape even which dukkha? Tap dukkha. I will not have this enjoyment. In my life, my enjoyment will be unhindered, unadulterated enjoyment I will get. Patanjali Muni says, okay, even if that happens, still the third misery is waiting for you. Patanjali Muni has no envy against anybody's enjoyment. One thing he will know, he has no envy against anybody's enjoyment. But Patanjali Muni says, please hear what I have to say. The third dukkha is waiting for you. Please repeat. Samskara dukkha. Samskara dukkha is when you have continuous enjoyment of something. And every enjoyment leaves an impression, a positive impression on the heart. This positive impression is called samskar. What is it called? Samskar. Let's take the previous example. Boy and girl, very beautiful, good looking. They get married to each other. They fall in love with each other. And there is no parinam dukkha. They keep looking beautiful till the very end of their lives. Alright? And their beauty continues till the very end of their life. And at the very end, they live for a full 100 years. And at the end of their life, they hold each other hands. And they say, I loved you very much. I loved you very much. I was faithful to you. I was faithful to you. And then both of them pass away simultaneously. Alright? Now, throughout their lives, they have positive impressions or negative impressions? Positive. Now, they are going to take another birth with all that positive impressions. And in the next birth, they will get another spouse. And will that spouse be able to fulfill the samskars that they have gotten from previous lives? In most cases, no. So, impressions of happiness from previous life will give you distress in the next life. This dukkha is known as which dukkha, dear devotees? Samskar dukkha. Acha, now tell me.
Yeah, I was making a comment on the first relationship between that man and woman. What you described was a superficial type of attraction that happens typically in relationships and marriages. But then as they get deeper, you come to love the person, and arm, but you love them,
Sure.
the heart of the person. And if you get to that point, if you're lucky enough to be in a relationship that goes that deep, you know, it supersedes physical beauty. Of course, the mind thinks differently, but when your heart is involved, it's different.
I understand, Prabhu.
But I appreciate the clarification.
No, yeah. The third, therefore I told you, even if you have a very positive impression at the end, the third dukkha is waiting for you. Which dukkha is that? Samskar dukkha. And therefore, please tell me here now, let's go through the verse again. Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkha yonaya evate adyantavantah kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. From the very place of enjoyment, something will arise. What will arise, dear devotees? Misery will arise. How many of us are at least theoretically convinced after listening to Patanjali Muni that from the very source of misery, source of enjoyment, misery will arise? Please raise your hands. How many are at least theoretically convinced that misery will arise from the same source? Those who are not convinced, time is a very good teacher. Dear devotee, very good. Time is a very good teacher. It will bring you to the same point. In Sanskrit, there is a nyaya which says that a person wanted to avoid paying the toll on the highway. So he took a long route from the forest. And through the forest he was walking in the night. And in the morning, he came back on the main road thinking that he had avoided the toll gate. But where he came out, he suddenly happened to meet the toll inspector again. So you took the long route and you still had to pay the toll. I hope you are able to understand. Please let this not be any of you. Let time not teach you. Please learn from the great sages and learn from Bhagwan Shri Krishna. Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkha yonaya evate. Now dear devotees, having understood this, that Vairagya is so important because from the very sources of pleasure, what is going to arise? Misery. So we should all understand this Vairagya and practice Vairagya. But Shri Krishna says something in the Srimad Bhagavatam about Bhakti Yoga. Specifically about which yoga? Bhakti Yoga. And he says that Vairagya, separate cultivation of Vairagya is not for the Bhakti Yogi. It may be for the Ashtanga Yogi. It may be for the Jnana Yogi. But separate cultivation of Vairagya is not for which yogi? Bhakti Yogi. Here is Bhagwan's own words in the Srimad Bhagavatam to Uddhav. Tasman madbhakti yuktasya yogino vai madatmanah na jnanam na cha vairagyam prayah shreyo bhavediha. Tasman, therefore, mad bhakti yuktasya, somebody who is performing which yoga, dear devotees? Bhakti yoga. Yogino vai madatmana, who is dedicated to me. Na jnanam, they should not separately cultivate impersonal knowledge. Na cha vairagyam, and they should not separately cultivate what? Vairagya. Prayah shreyo bhavediha. Please read the translation, Prabhu.
Therefore, for a devotee engaged in my loving service with mind fixed on me, the cultivation of jnana, knowledge, and vairagya, renunciation, is generally not the means of achieving the highest perfection within this world.
Jnana here refers to knowledge of impersonal Brahman. It doesn't refer to knowledge of physics, maths, chemistry, music, etc. Jnana here refers to knowledge of the impersonal Brahman. You can't achieve bhakti by knowledge of the impersonal Brahman. And another factor which is not helpful is vairagya. What is not so much helpful for bhakti? Vairagya. Vairagya which is cultivated externally, separate from bhakti. Bhakti generates its own vairagya. And I will explain with the help of an example. Please understand this example very nicely. It's a very important example. Suppose there is a lady who has a desire that I want to have a child, I want to become a mother. And she approaches another lady who has just now become a mother. And the lady who has just now become a mother, she says, please be very careful. Once you have a child and the child takes birth, the child will not let you sleep. Thrice in the night, the child will wake you up. Be prepared for this. So this lady says, yeah, I want to have a child. Huh? What do you mean? Huh? I want to have a child. In fact, I will prepare myself for having the child. So when she has not given birth to the child, still thrice in the night she is putting an alarm clock and waking up 3 times in the night. Why? She has to practice for the child has come, yes or no? So good practice or bad practice? Why? No need to suffer like that. Oh, wonderful. Mayapur Chandra Prabhu says no need to suffer like this. Mayapur Chandra Prabhu, one thing is very simple thing. Today, if she practices waking up thrice in the night, Jai Ho. Today, if she practices waking up thrice in the night, tomorrow when the child comes, she will be Siddha Hasta, fully perfect in that science. So what is wrong if she wakes up thrice in the night?
She may not have a baby.
Huh? She may not get a baby. Oh, assuming the best, huh? That in the future she will get a child.
Maybe we'll wake her up on time, and maybe it'll be 4 or 5 times a night.
Maybe the baby will test her more. Okay. See this wonderful example that I have just given. When you think about it, it's perfectly in relation to Bhakti Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga. What should come first? Waking up in the night should come first, or childbirth should come first? What should come first? And what is so special after childbirth that the waking up happens automatically? Love, nature. Wonderful. I hope you are able to understand. This is how Bhakti Yoga works. Bhakti Yoga is like first having affection for Bhagavan, and on the strength of that affection we easily give up material attachments. That is the Vairagya which is inherent part of Bhakti Yoga. And any Vairagya which is cultivated separately from Bhakti Yoga damages that Bhakti Yoga. Now we are getting closer to the Siddhanta. I hope you are able to understand. Because the lady may, now that girl who is aspiring to get a child, she may become pregnant. Now when the child is in her womb, if she wakes up thrice in the night, will it be helpful for the child or detrimental for the child? Detrimental for the child. On the path of Bhakti Yoga, our situation is similar. We are progressing towards perfection. Bhakti Yoga needs a very soft heart. And Vairagya has the tendency of making the heart soft or hard? Hard. If we make our heart hard, will we be able to exchange loving relationships with Sri Krishna? No. So what is better? To become hard-hearted or to become a loving devotee? What is better? Loving devotee. Which means we have to put Vairagya on the back seat. And we have to put Bhakti Yoga on the front seat. I hope what I am saying is making sense. This is the reason why Krishna was saying, Na Jnanam, na cha Vairagyam. Neither cultivation of Jnana nor cultivation of Vairagya is very helpful. Prabhuji, how much time do we have remaining, Prabhuji? We have? Okay, wonderful. Sri Rupa Goswami, wonderful Acharya in our tradition, he emphasizes this even much more. Sri Rupa Goswami says, no separate cultivation of Vairagya. Bhakti automatically gives Vairagya. Okay, here is the verse by Sri Rupa Goswami. Jnana Vairagyayor Bhakti Praveshayopayogita Ishat Prathamameveti Nangatvam Uchitam Tayo. He takes two things, Gyan and Vairagya. He says Bhakti Praveshaya Upayogita. What is the meaning of Pravesh? Enter. While entering into Bhakti, Upayogita, little bit of Vairagya is needed. How much Vairagya is needed? Little. What is that little Vairagya? The material world is not such a good place. Therefore, let me love Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Little Vairagya is needed. Na Angatvam Uchitam. Don't make Vairagya as a limb of Bhakti. Here is the translation. Please read the translation of the verse.
A tiny bit of knowledge and renunciation are useful for entering into bhakti, that too in the very beginning. Therefore, it is not suitable to consider these as limbs of bhakti.
what will happen if we separately cultivate Vairagya separate of Bhakti? Sri Jiva Goswami explains in the commentary to this verse. Bhakti pravishtasya vairagyam chitta kathinya hetutaya heyat. Chitta is the heart and kathinya. What is the meaning of kathin, dear devotees? Hard. So, for a person who has entered into bhakti, the over cultivation of renunciation is to be rejected because it hardens the heart. To separately cultivate Vairagya, independent of bhakti, is like to take a sandpaper and scrape your heart. How many of you have seen sandpaper? Everybody has seen? When you scrape something using a sandpaper, its volume decreases. Please be careful while scraping your heart with the sandpaper of Vairagya. We should not do that, because while scraping your heart, one day you will realize there is no heart remaining. And this heart was supposed to be the same vessel for relishing bhakti ras later. You lost your vessel for relishing bhakti ras. Then the only thing remaining is to spit on the material world and take pleasure in that manner. Please, dear devotees, cultivate Vairagya, no problem, but cultivate Vairagya which is a part of which yoga? Bhakti yoga. Please don't cultivate Vairagya which is independent of Bhakti yoga. There is enough opportunity for Vairagya in Bhakti yoga. Ekadashi. Ekadashi is once in how many days? 15. On Ekadashi we give up grains. This is natural detachment from grains and other objects. And of course we are having so much detachment already. No meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling. These are already part of Bhakti yoga. Sadachar. What do we call it? Sadachar. This Sadachar is already a part of Bhakti yoga. Besides this, if you try to overdo it, you are taking a sandpaper and scraping the most important organ of your existence. Which organ, dear devotees? Heart. Please don't scrape away your heart, because this heart will be needed later to relish something. To relish what, dear devotees? Bhakti rasa. So please don't scrape it away by practicing Vairagya independent of Bhakti. Actually, we need one Vairagya, and this is the final verse, dear devotees, for today. The Vairagya that we need on the path of Bhakti is given by Sri Rupa Goswami. Wonderful definition and often misunderstood definition. Please repeat after me. Anasaktasya vishayan yatharham upayunjatah nirbandha krishna sambandhe yuktam vairagyam uchyate. The Vairagya of the devotees has a special name, and this name has been given by Sri Rupa Goswami. What is the name of the Vairagya that the devotees practice? Yukta Vairagya. Which Vairagya, dear devotees? Yukta Vairagya. Now, many devotees misunderstand Yukta Vairagya. They think whatever you are materially attached to, take that and use it in the service of Krishna. That is Yukta Vairagya. Dear devotees, this is not the precise definition of Yukta. Yukta Vairagya is not to cover your sense gratification with the Parda of Shri Krishna. I hope you are able to understand. This is not Yukta Vairagya. Yukta Vairagya has a very specific definition. Please hear the definition of Yukta Vairagya. First, Anasaktasya Vishayan. The devotee is naturally detached from all sense objects. I hope you are able to understand that devotee is naturally detached from all sense objects. Please hear. This is not the cause. This is the effect. The first condition is not the cause. It is the effect of Yukta Vairagya. Anasaktasya Vishayan. The devotee has become naturally detached from sense objects. Is this the cause of Vairagya or the effect of Vairagya? Effect. So the first condition is effect. The devotee has become detached from all sense objects. Second, Yatha arham upayunjatah. Even if he uses some sense object, he will only use as much as needed for his or her seva. Not more than that. This is also an effect. This is not a cause. This is an effect. Then what is the cause of Yukta Vairagya? The third line gives the important cause. Please repeat. Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyate. What is Yukta Vairagya? Please hear. Please repeat after me. Yukta Vairagya is Nirbandha in relation to Krishna. What is Yukta Vairagya, dear devotees? You please repeat the technical term. What is Yukta Vairagya? It is Nirbandha. What is Yukta Vairagya? In relation to whom? But now one question arises. What question arises? What is Nirbandha? Dear devotees, now I am explaining what is Nirbandha. Please hear carefully. This is the last part of the presentation and the most important part of the presentation. What is Nirbandha? Because without Nirbandha, there is no meaning to Vairagya. What is Nirbandha? I will explain to you with a simple example. Examples make it easy to understand. Let's say there is a person who is very fat, so overweight, people constantly make fun of him. Day in and day out, people body shame this person. One fine day, it is this person's birthday. On this person's birthday, many friends gather together and they bring him a big cake. And when they are cutting the cake, they feed him the cake. While feeding the cake also, they make fun of him. Here are 200 calories more. Huh? This person becomes terribly offended. Right on my birthday, somebody is making fun of me. That on his birthday he cries. He cries very much. And he cries himself to sleep. Next morning he wakes up. And suddenly there is a determination in his mind. Either I will become slim or I will die. I hope you are able to understand. Either I will become slim or I will die. Dear devotees, Nirbandha. What is this known as? Nirbandha. But this Nirbandha is in relation to weight loss. Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe. Nirbandha in relationship to whom, dear devotees? Either I will attain Shri Krishna or everything else is a failure for me. When that burning desire is there within the heart, that burning desire has a Sanskrit name. What is the Sanskrit name of that burning desire? Nirbandha. Now, let's go back to the weight loss analogy. Alright? Now, this person has Nirbandha, but his Nirbandha is towards whom? Weight loss. So, when he wakes up, Anasaktasya Vishayan, he is naturally detached from all food now. I hope you are able to understand. Huh? This natural detachment from food has arisen due to what, dear devotees? Due to the Nirbandha. Yatha arham upayunjataha, he will eat only as much as needed. He will not eat even a single calorie more than that. These first two were causes of Vairagya or effects of Vairagya? Effects of Vairagya. I hope you are able to understand. Yatha arham upayunjataha. Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagya Muchyate. Actually, Yukta Vairagya is Nirbandha. If you have Nirbandha, you will have the first two qualities automatically. When this fat person walks on the street, he sees food, he doesn't see food. What is he seeing now, dear devotees? Calories. He is seeing calories now. Please remember this example. Because this example will help you understand the meaning of one Sanskrit term. Which Sanskrit term? Nirbandha. And this Nirbandha is the root of all Krishna Bhakti. That burning desire to attain Shri Krishna. We don't want any Vairagya independent of Nirbandha. If there is no Nirbandha, what will we do with Vairagya? It's a very simple question. If there is no Nirbandha, what will we do with Vairagya? Even in the material world, we will see people who fall helplessly in love with each other. They also start exhibiting such symptoms. A boy and a girl helplessly fall in love. The boy is waiting for her phone call. Oh, she did not call today. Today I will fast. I will not eat anything. Isn't it? Natural detachment starts happening when you have Nirbandha. But this Nirbandha should not be towards material objects. This Nirbandha should be towards whom, dear devotees? Anasaktasya Vishayan Yatharham Upayunjataha Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagya Muchyate. Actually, what is Yukta Vairagya? In one word, what is Yukta Vairagya, dear devotees? Nirbandha is Yukta Vairagya. Once again, what is Yukta Vairagya? Nirbandha is Yukta. Tomorrow, if anybody asks us what is Yukta Vairagya, we don't say just take anything and use it in the service of Krishna. What is Yukta Vairagya, dear devotees? Nirbandha is Yukta Vairagya. Do we have the Nirbandha? If we have the nirbandha, automatically the first two stages will come. Anasaktasya vishayan yatharham upayunjata. We will be detached from all sense objects, and even if we use them, we will use them only as much as needed. Just as the fat person will not give up eating, but he will only eat as much as needed. This is. Please read the translation, Prabhu.
For a devotee who is, one, completely unattached to sense objects, and two, who accepts only as much as needed, the dedication related to Krishna is known as Yukta Vairagya.
What related to Krishna is known as Yukta Vairagya? That dedication, that nirbandha. Wonderful. You spoke correctly. What is known as Yukta Vairagya? Their dedication is known as Yukta Vairagya. Vairagya is not detachment. Detachment is a side effect. Vairagya is nirbandha. Dear devotees, what is Vairagya? Nirbandha. Once a person understands what is nirbandha, Vairagya is just a side effect of all of that. It's just a side effect. Just as when the mother gives birth to the child, the mother also develops nirbandha. What nirbandha does the mother develop? I will take care of this child. The most important priority in my life is this child. Then, anasaktasya vishayan, she gives up all her friend circle. For some time she stops taking all the sense enjoyment she had before that. She gives up voluntarily. Yatha arham, while eating also she is eating what is suitable for her. A mother, she doesn't eat spicy food, because that spicy food boils down into the breast milk, and then that breast milk gives trouble to the child. Yatha arham upayunjataha. Why? Because the mother now has something. What does the mother right now have? Nirbandha. But the girl who wanted to become a mother and who is artificially practicing waking up thrice in the night, she may be exhibiting the effects, but she doesn't have the main cause. What is the main cause that she doesn't have? Nirbandha. So that nirbandha is the crux of Yukta Vairagya. This is Bhakti and Vairagya. Actually, this is what we need to understand in this particular domain. Anybody who understood this today will have understood the path of Bhakti Yoga, how to make progress on the path of Bhakti Yoga. Progress that is sustainable, progress that will not fall after certain number of years. So this is what I would like to say. Thank you very much, dear devotees, for kindly listening to what I had to say. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Jai. Wonderful.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Maybe we'll take one question. If time, anybody has any questions?
Yeah, let's give the question to Mataji. Yeah.
One Mataji, no problem.
Okay, one Mataji. Oh, wonderful.
I joined at the end because I was upstairs in Sunday school, but I don't know if you already covered, but how to develop nirbandha?
How to develop nirbandha? Wonderful. That's Mataji, the question you are actually asking a question which is of the greatest importance to your spiritual life. You are actually attacking the root of the problem here, and I would really like to congratulate you for asking this question. How to develop nirbandha? Because once a person develops nirbandha, frankly speaking, there is nothing else remaining for them to do, because they have that driving force which will sustain them throughout their spiritual life. So this question is very important. How to develop nirbandha? Nirbandha in relation to Krishna Bhakti specifically, because nirbandha can be for anything, but we are looking for nirbandha related to Krishna Bhakti. Krishna Bhakti, Mataji, please tell me, Krishna Bhakti is something material or spiritual? Please tell me. Spiritual. Our body and senses and mind are material or spiritual? Material. A material body, a material mind and material senses cannot develop spiritual nirbandha. It has to come from an existing person. It has to come from an existing person. And in the association of a person who has nirbandha, by hearing them and by associating with them, by getting our doubts resolved from them, we also develop nirbandha. And therefore, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a very wonderful statement in this regard. Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula Hai sadhu sangha, Krishna prema janmete ho, Puna mukhya anga. Mataji, very important phrase. Krishna bhakti janma mula. We go in reverse there. Mula, the root cause of janma, of birth, of bhakti of Krishna. The root cause of that nirbandha, is sadhu sangha, is actually association of sadhu. This so important sadhu sangha, Krishna prema janme, even when you attain the result Krishna prem, still you should continue associating. Punah mukhya anga. Still you should continue associating. Here is the translation by Srila Prabhupada. The root cause of devotional service, Mataji, that which gives the nirbandha to Lord Krishna is association with advanced devotees. Even when one's dormant love of Krishna awakens, association with devotees is still most essential. So this is, Mataji, how we develop nirbandha. It cannot be developed by a material endeavor using the material senses. You have to associate with an existing devotee who has that nirbandha, and then you get it. And Srila Prabhupada used to explain I'll give another example. Prabhupada used to explain here in a lecture on Bhagavad Gita. The thing is that if you want to become a drunkard, you mix with people who drink. Then you drink little. Then you become a big drunkard. Alright, so this is very simple. Very simple example given by Srila Prabhupada. What is the best way of becoming a drunkard? To go to the university and take a course on drinking, right? Yes or no? No. How do you become a good drunkard? Associate with a drunkard. Sit with a drunkard and speak your heart to them. Speak your miseries to the drunkard. And listen to the miseries of another drunkard. And then you will know what it is to become a drunkard. So Mataji, this is the answer. Alright, I gave from Chaitanya Charitamrita, I also gave from Srila Prabhupada. Both sources I have quoted, both are pointing in the same direction. Alright, one final question from the Vaishnava Prabhu. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Guruji. Thank you for the wonderful class. I just had a quick question regarding when you mentioned regarding austerities that we already do in Krishna consciousness. So it might be doing Ekadashi, following the four regulating principles, maybe waking up doing Brahma at the time.
Yeah.
But some devotees who are very serious or already on that platform of taking to the next level, they're very austere also. So they're maybe putting the extra mile and going further.
Yeah.
So, and you mentioned that the more you do austerities, it actually makes your heart a little more like you're rubbing with sandpaper.
Yeah.
But those devotees are not like that also. So, what can you just clarify that?
Wonderful. So there are some devotees who have advanced enough and we see more detachment and renunciation within them. So, but I said that renunciation can scrape your heart, isn't it? So that sounds like an inconsistency. The devotees who have actually developed renunciation and detachment as a result of bhakti, their detachment and renunciation is such that it is done for the sake of their own happiness and pleasure in bhakti. That is the reason why they do it. It's not so that they can torture their body. Torturing the body is not a limb of devotional service. Let's take Ekadashi. Different devotees follow Ekadashi according to different standards. Some devotees take Anukalpa. Anukalpa is what is called as Ekadashi Prasad. So Ekadashi Prasad some devotee takes because his mind is peaceful when he takes Ekadashi Prasad. Later that devotee becomes more advanced. Later that devotee becomes more attached to singing and hearing and remembering Bhagwan's pastimes. One fine day that devotee thinks, I am spending so much time in cooking. On Ekadashi I have a perfect excuse to not cook and survive only on water. I hope you are able to understand. What comes first? The increasing attachment to Bhagwan or the detachment? What comes first? The increasing attachment to Bhagwan should come first. And when as a result of increasing attachment to Bhagwan you give that up, that is when you are naturally situated in renunciation and in a very happy manner. But without increasing that attachment to Bhagwan, if you are leaving things just in order to become more renounced and austere, somewhere it will start scraping your heart. And when it starts scraping your heart, you will start losing that taste for Bhakti Ras. So our technique is Param Drishtva Nivartate. Param Drishtva. Drishtva is in the Twa. Twa is past tense. Param Drishtva. Having seen Param, having seen a higher taste, then you get relieved from a lower taste. I hope you are able to understand. Not that you first start the austerity and then later you will get relieved, get the higher taste. That is not our process. Okay? So I hope that clarifies. Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, he first started with taking money from his uncles. Gradually his level of bhakti increased. He stopped taking money from his uncle. Gradually his level of bhakti increased even more. He started begging for prasad. Gradually his level of renunciation increased even more. And then he came to such a level where he was eating the rejected prasad from Jagannath Puri. But all of that started from one stage. And that one stage is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Very quickly I will show this and you read the translation. This is the first instruction that Mahaprabhu gave to Raghunath Das Goswami. Yatha yogya vishay bhunja anasakta hayya. So please read this sentence. Please read this sentence.
For the time being, enjoy the material world in a befitting way. Do not become attached to it.
This is where Sri Raghunath Das Goswami started. And gradually he increased to that point. So it should be natural. Bhakti should come first. Renunciation a side effect. That is the general rule. It will never change. Alright? I hope that answers your query. Jai Ho. Prabhu, should we? Achha, I can answer personally, Prabhu. I think there is a time limit. So, Shraddhastu ya puman. Na nirvidno nati sakto bhakti yogosya siddhida. Yeah. We will discuss. We will meet. I will discuss. Okay. Yadricha has big technical meaning. Mahata Bhagavad Kripaya. I will explain from Sridhar Swami's Tika. I will explain, but not again. It take another 10-15 minutes to explain that. All right? Thank you. Yadricha is not by chance.
Thank you so much. Again, louder and more. Thank you. Thank you so much for this wonderful association. And now we have Parsada. And if devotees have any questions, hopefully we will be here. We will spend some time with you. And Maharaj will tell you. Hare Krishna.